Hello, family and friends, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Shauna, and thanks for being here today. Today is Sabbath Sunday, April 6th. I hope your day's going amazing, whatever you're doing today. Well, as you can see, I'm at sea almost. So I just boarded the Celebrity Ascent, and I'm going on a spring break cruise. And we haven't left yet, so I'm just ported here in Fort Lauderdale, thanking God for safe passages from Atlanta to Florida. So hopefully I'll be able to, upload in a timely manner, but, just like you might have, if you watched, noticed, my last cruise, it was definitely hit or miss with the uploads, but we'll see how it goes. So nevertheless, that brings us to today. Let's say a quick prayer and then we'll do a review and just see how things go. Lord, thank you for all that you've done for us. Thank you for wisdom, knowledge, and understanding to comprehend your text today. In Jesus' name, amen. So yesterday we finished the book of Judges. I'm so glad to be done with that book. The book of Judges is no joke. That's all I'm going to say. In fact, I'm not even reviewing what we read yesterday because my brother came on and we had a show that was almost an hour long because we read, but we also summarized. So I don't feel like I need to review those chapters at all. Not to mention, they're so gruesome, I don't want to touch those chapters again. But for inquiring minds, yesterday we finished off 19, 20, and 21 of Judges. At your own risk. View at your own risk is what I'll say about that. But that leads me to my shout outs. I will shout my brother out, J Mar. Thank you so much for coming on the show yesterday. And my beautiful niece, Journey. She joined me on my kids show. So, if you've been watching, you know that I do the chronological read is for us adults. But once I started doing the chronological read, I'm like, you know what? These babies need Jesus. So I started a kids daily, semi-daily. So far up until this week, it's been daily. And it's just reading the children's Bible. And so that leads me to my next topic. This week, since a lot of kids are out on spring break, I'm not going to tape a kids show this week. I'm working on a kids Easter message. So I want the kids to know the true meaning of Easter. And so I'm going to work on creating something that way. And my last little shout out, my last big shout out actually, is to my sister-in-law, Erica. Thank you, Erica. She lended me my brother and my niece, and then I didn't even realize they had a soccer game they had to rush off to yesterday. So thank you again, Hightower family. I love you guys so much. All right, so that leads us into today. I didn't see any Facebook shout outs this morning as far as birthdays, so I'll leave it there. Today, according to our chronological Bible, we're going to start the book of Ruth. Hey, Ruth. Ruth is a very popular story. A lot of you probably already know about the book about Ruth and Boaz. Remember years ago, there was this really popular prayer of Boaz that came out. So I don't think we're going to see it yet, but I'll definitely keep my eyes out open for it. So without further delay, let's just get started. We're going to read Ruth 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Wow, lots of reading today. But in chapter 4, we're going to stop at verse 12. And I was going to do the whole not read it to you, but this week I'll probably just read it to you because of technology. I don't know. We'll see. Thank you for just hanging in there. One thing I will do is make sure that I read the chronological Bible every day. So whatever that looks like, I'm reading it because I'm committed. I'm stuck in it. But that's not a bad thing at all. All right, here we go. Ruth, chapter 1. And it came to pass, and I'm reading the ASV version, by the way. And it came to pass in the days when the judges judged that there was a famine in the land, and a certain man of Bethlehem, Judah, went to sojourn in the country of Moab, he and his wife and his 2 sons. And the name of the man was Elimelech, and the name of his wife Naomi, and the name of his 2 sons Mahlon and Chilion. Ephraimites of Bethlehem, Judah. And they came into the country of Moab and continued there. And Elimelech, Naomi's husband, died, and she was left and her 2 sons. And they took them wives of the women of Moab. The name of one was Orpah, and the name of the other Ruth. And they dwelt there about 10 years. 5. And Mahlon and Chilion died, both of them. And the woman was left of their 2 children and of her husband. 6. Then she arose with her daughter-in-law, and she might return from the country of Moab, for she had heard in the country of Moab how that Jehovah had visited his people in giving them bread. And she went forth out of the place where she was, and her 2 daughters-in-law with her. And they went on the way to return unto the land of Judah. 8. And Naomi said unto her 2 daughter-in-laws, Go, return each of you to her mother's house. Jehovah dealt kindly with you, as ye have dealt with the dead and with me. Jehovah grant you ye that ye may find rest, each of you in the house of her husband. Then she kissed them, and they lifted up their voice and wept. And they said unto her, Nay, but we will return with thee unto thy people. And Naomi said, Turn again, my daughters, why will ye go with me? Have I yet sons in my womb, that they may be your husbands? Turn again, my daughters, go your way, for I am too old to have a husband. If I should say, I have hope, if I should even have a husband tonight, and should also bear sons, would ye therefore tarry till they were grown? Would ye therefore stay from having husbands? Nay, my daughters, for it grieveth me much for your sakes, for the hand of Jehovah is gone forth against me. And they lifted up their voice and wept again. And Orpah kissed her mother-in-law, but Ruth clave unto her. So Orpah said, Okay, Ruth, mwah, bye. She went back. But not Ruth, but Orpah. Yeah, Orpah said that to Naomi, not Ruth. So Orpah's like, okay, I'll go back to my people. But Ruth said, I'm staying with you, Naomi, my dear mother-in-law. 15. And she said, Behold, thy sister-in-law is gone back unto her people and unto her God. Return thou after thy sister-in-law. And Ruth said, Entreat me not to leave thee and to return from following after thee. For whether thou goest, I will go, and where thou lodgest, I will lodge. Thy people shall be my people, and thy God my God. Where thou diest, I will die, and there will I be buried. Jehovah, do so to me, and more also, if aught but death part thee and me. And when she saw that she was steadfastly minded to go with her, she left off speaking unto her. So they two went until they came to Bethlehem. And it came to pass, when they were come to Bethlehem, that all the city was moved about them. And the women said, Is this Naomi? And she said to them, Call me not Naomi, call me Mara, for the Almighty has dealt very bitterly with me. I went out full, and Jehovah hath brought me home again empty. Why call me Naomi, seeing Jehovah has testified against me, and the Almighty has afflicted me? So Naomi returned, and Ruth the Moabitess, her daughter-in-law, with her, who returned out of the country of Moab, and they came to Bethlehem in the beginning of the barley harvest. All right, quick pause. All right, Ruth chapter 2. I switched to ESV version. That other version is just too much for me. I'm sorry. Ruth meets Boaz. Now Naomi had a relative of her husband's, a worthy man of the clan of Elimelech, whose name was Boaz. And Ruth the Moabite said to Naomi, Let me go to the field and glean among the ears of grain after him, in whose sight I shall find favor. And she said to her, Go, my daughter. So she set out and went and gleaned in the field after the reapers. And she happened to come to the part of the field belonging to Boaz, who was of the clan of Elimelech. And behold, Boaz came from Bethlehem, and he said to the reapers, "The Lord be with you." And they answered, "The Lord bless you." 5. Then Boaz said to the young man who was in charge of the reapers, "Whose young woman is this?" And the servant who was in charge of the reapers answered, "She is the young Moabite woman who came back with Naomi from the country of Moab." She said, "Please let me glean and gather among the sheaves after the reapers." So she came, and she has continued from early morning until now, except for a short rest. So they're telling Boaz, she came here with Naomi, our relative, and she is a hard worker. So she's doing the most. 8. Then Boaz said to Ruth, "Now listen, my daughter, do not go glean in another field or leave this one, but keep close to my young women. Let your eyes be on the field that they are reaping and go after them. Have I not charged the young men not to touch you? And when you are thirsty, go to the vessels and drink what the young men have drawn." Then she fell on her face, bowing to the ground, and said to him, "Why have I found favor in your eyes, that you should take notice of me, since I am a foreigner?" But Boaz answered her, "All that you have done for your mother-in-law since the death of your husband has been fully told to me, and how you left your father and your mother and your native land and came to a people that you did not know before." 12. The Lord repay you for what you have done, and a full reward be given to you by the Lord, the God of Israel, under whose wings you have come to take refuge. Then she said, "I have found favor in your eyes, my Lord, for you have comforted me and spoken kindly of your servant, though I am not one of your servants." 14. And at mealtime Boaz said to her, "Come here and eat some bread and dip your morsels in the wine." So she sat beside the reapers, and he passed to her roasted grain, and she ate until she was satisfied, and she had some left over. When she rose to glean, Boaz instructed his young men, saying, "Let her glean even among the sheaves, and do not reproach her. And also pull out some from the bundles for her, and leave it for her to glean, and do not rebuke her." I love this. So Boaz is warning his people, don't you touch her, don't you defile her, and let her have the choice grain. That's cool. 17. So she gleaned in the field until evening. Then she beat out what she had gleaned, and it was about an ephah of barley. And she took it up and went into the city. Her mother-in-law saw that she had gleaned. She also brought out and gave her what food she had left over after being satisfied. And her mother-in-law said to her, "Where did you glean today? And where have you worked? Blessed be the man who took notice of you." So she told her mother-in-law with whom she had worked, and said, "The man's name with whom I work today is Boaz." 20. And Naomi said to her daughter-in-law, "May he be blessed by the Lord, whose kindness has not forsaken the living or the dead." Naomi also said to her, "The man is a close relative of ours, one of our redeemers." And Ruth the Moabite said, "Besides, he said to me, you shall keep close to my young men until they have finished all my harvest." 22. And Naomi said to Ruth, her daughter-in-law, "It is good, my daughter, that you go out with his young women, lest in another field you be assaulted." So she kept close to the young women of Boaz, gleaning until the end of the barley and the wheat harvest, and she lived with her mother-in-law. Aw, I don't have a daughter-in-law yet, but when I get one, I sure hope she's a lot like Ruth. Hey, Shay Shay. Ooh, I'm cracking myself up. Ruth chapter 3. Ruth and Boaz at the threshing floor. Then Naomi, her mother-in-law, said to her, "My daughter, should I not seek rest for you, that it may be well with you? Is not Boaz our relative, with whose young women you were? See, he is winnowing barley tonight at the threshing floor. Wash therefore and anoint yourself and put on your cloak and go down to the threshing floor, but do not make yourself known to the man until he has finished eating and drinking. But when he lies down, observe the place where he lies, then go over and uncover his feet and lie down, and he will tell you what to do. And she replied, all that you say, I will do. A little plot here. Not necessarily deception, just positioning. 6. So she went down to the threshing floor and did just as her mother-in-law had commanded her. And when Boaz had eaten and drunk, and his heart was merry, he went to lie down at the end of the heap of grain. Then she came softly and uncovered his feet and lay down. At midnight the man was startled and turned over, and behold, a woman lay at his feet. He said, who are you? And she answered, I'm Ruth, your servant. Spread your wings over your servant, for you are a redeemer. And he said, may you be blessed by the Lord, my daughter. You have made his last kindness greater than the first, in that you have not gone after young men, whether poor or rich. 11. And now, my daughter, do not fear. I will do for you all that you ask, for all my fellow townsmen know that you are a worthy woman. 12. And now it is true that I am a redeemer, yet there is a redeemer nearer than I. 13. Remain tonight, and in the morning, if he will redeem you, good, let him do it. But if he is not willing to redeem you, then as the Lord lives, I will redeem you. Lie down until morning. So she lay down at his feet until morning, but arose before one could recognize another. And he said, let it not be known that the woman came to the threshing floor. And he said, bring the garments you are wearing and hold it out. So she held it, and he measured out 6 measures of barley and put it on her. Then she went into the city, and when she came to her mother-in-law, she said, how did you fare, my daughter? Then she told her all that the man had done for her, saying, these 6 measures of barley he gave for me, for he said to me, you must not go back empty-handed for your mother-in-law. She replied, wait, my daughter, until you learn how the matter turns out, for the man will not rest, but will settle the matter today. All right, I'll save that and just keep plowing through the reading, and I'll summarize for tomorrow. Ruth chapter 4. We're only reading to 12. Now Boaz had gone up to the gate and sat down there, and behold, the Redeemer of whom Boaz had spoken came by. So Boaz said, turn aside, friend, sit down here. And he turned aside and sat down. And he took 10 men of the elders of the city and said, sit down here. So they sat down. Then he said to the Redeemer, Naomi, who has come back from the country of Moab, is selling the parcel of land that belongs to our relative Elimelech. So I thought I would tell you of it and say, buy it in the presence of those sitting here and in the presence of the elders of my people. If you will redeem it, redeem it. But if you will not, tell me, then I may know, for there is no one besides you to redeem it, and I come after you. And he said, I will redeem it. Then Boaz said, the day you buy the field from the hand of Naomi, you also acquire Ruth the Moabite, the widow of the dead, in order to perpetuate the name of the dead in his inheritance. 6. Then the Redeemer said, I cannot redeem it for myself, lest I impair my own inheritance. Take my right of redemption yourself, for I cannot redeem it. Now this was the custom in former times in Israel concerning redeeming and exchanging. To confirm a transaction, the one drew off his sandal and gave it to the other, and this was the manner of attesting in Israel. So when the Redeemer said to Boaz, buy it for yourself, he drew off his sandal. Then Boaz said to the elders of all the people, you are witnesses this day that I have bought from the hand of Naomi all that belongs to Elimelech, and all that belongs to Chilion and to Mahlon. 10. Also Ruth the Moabite, the widow of Mahlon, I have bought to be my wife, to perpetuate the name of the dead in his inheritance, that the name of the dead may not be cut off from among his brothers, and from the gate of his native place. You are witnesses this day." Then all the people who were at the gate and the elders said, "We are witnesses. May the Lord make the woman who is coming into your house like Rachel and Leah, who together built up the house of Israel. May you act worthily in Ephraim, and be renowned in Bethlehem. And may your house be like the house of Perez, whom Tamar bore to Judah, because of the offspring of the Lord will give you by this young woman." Okay. 13, Ruth and Boaz marry. So Boaz took Ruth, and she became his wife, and he went into her, and the Lord gave her conception, and she bore a son. Oh, I was supposed to stop there, right? At 12. Why didn't it make me stop? All right, we'll stop there, because according to our reading, we're supposed to stop at chapter 12. So for some reason, I was just going to plow on through. But just a quick summary of that. So Boaz had a relative that was next in line to inherit. So he went to him before he made a pledge to Ruth. He had to get permission, basically, because he wasn't the next in line of lineage. And we just kind of covered what just happened with the exchange of the inheritances. And I'll summarize that a little bit more tomorrow. And that's all I'll do for today. I didn't see any birthday shout outs on Facebook, so hopefully I don't miss anybody. And if I did, I'm sorry. Happy belated birthday, and happy birthday if anyone has a birthday today. All right, my friends, that's all I have. I hope to see you tomorrow. Thanks for being here. Have a great rest of your Sunday. Bye.